Good morning, guys, and this is going to be the last presentation that you get from me this year, I promise. Mr. Spradley was supposed to join us as our administrator, but he is not going to be able to because he is trying to keep track of what's going on with Coach Caldwell. So he said that he was going to pass this morning, and that's completely understandable. But what we're doing is we're talking about professional learning communities in your school and what they're supposed to be like. The partners that I had last time for my last project are the same partners that I had this time, and we were asked to create a PLC plan for our school. So this is the one that I have created specifically for 4th grade for us to kind of mingle and be a smaller group of CIP representatives within that larger group. And I'm going to erase this so you guys can see everything. Ms. Hurst, if you'll go ahead and click for us. The purpose of the 4th grade PLC, it would be to ensure that teachers and students at Oxford Elementary are achieving and performing to the best of their abilities, that all teachers are given ownership in that district vision, and that all voices are heard. Okay. And this is feedback from the state. This information came from Sid Hance when he was serving as our state superintendent. And during his first couple months on the job, he was able to take part in some professional learning communities. And from the article and the information that I read in my research, he said that in the state of Alabama, he felt like that professional learning communities go back to what we do naturally, and it's a lot of hospitality and kindness and, oh, you're doing a great job, but there wasn't that hardcore fine-grained evidence, and there were not those tough, challenging conversations where people are actually coming together and problem solving. So some of the things that he said, the purpose of a learning community is to develop a sense of community within your school and your district, and it's to help teachers feel free to share and express their own ideas with others. And he says, as we become more comfortable in sharing our conversations with one another, then we become better teachers because we're learning from one another. And it's not I know more than you do thing. It's us exchanging information to make our students better and us to be better as educators. If you'll go, Ms. Hurst. The areas of focus for 4th grade, same thing that we've been doing, guys, are learning targets created and used by teachers, students using learning targets, teachers and students using formative assessment, and teachers and students setting individual goals, because the purpose is, through our book study, Leaders of Their Own Learning, to turn that over to them, to help them identify where's my learning breaking down, to let them become a problem solver, and eventually they can be writing their own learning targets. But because those targets are not just posted there for Ms. Landers to use every day, they're posted there for my students to use every day, knowing what's coming up and did I meet this? And how did I meet this? One thing that I always do is make my students tell me how they met that target. Okay, so if you'll go ahead, Ms. Hurst. The timeline for 4th grade, and guys, this vision is 4th grade teachers being a smaller professional learning community within our school learning community, which is within our district learning community. So that way, if we took the lead and modeled it for each grade level, then there's almost mini PLCs going on weekly within grade levels, and it's not just sitting there looking at data and walking away feeling like we've wasted our time. We're actually learning from each other. So we would begin in October, and the plan would be, say Deb and I are partners, and I'm the math teacher and she's the reading teacher. We would be Team A, and actually that would be Abby and Deb, and they would be Team A. So in October, Deb would present some kind of article or presentation or research or I do to the 4th grade group. And then the next week, it would be Abby's turn as the math teacher. And you guys would do that for the first month. And then, of course, Angie and I would be like Team B. And we would do it because we're the next one in line. And we would do our meetings for Team B, but then our third week, because in November we have Thanksgiving. The third week would be for our school team and district team representatives to come back and do turnaround so that we are clear on the district focus. And we have a time set for that. And then this would take us through December, first semester. You'll go ahead. And I think you guys get the idea now of how it would work. This is what second semester would look like, back to the same organization. And I feel like giving each of us a time to come in and share our thoughts and share our ideas and share our research, that sometimes I don't think about things. Or I may read a piece of text and not get out of it what Hannah gets out of it. And for Hannah to be able to stand up and say, hey, here's this article, I've read it, you guys read it, and then I'm going to do some turnaround training for you tomorrow, and then come in and talk to us about that, her takeaway from it. To me, that just kind of meshes our ideas together and makes us better teachers. All right, Ms. Hurst, if you will go from there. And so our assigned duties would be one reading and one math teacher. They would find resources and prepare those presentations for us. And of course, it would be led by our book study leaders of their own learning. That's going to be our vehicle for getting these PLCs in and for us kind of constructing this mini group, because we're all so familiar with this text. We've been in it for 40 years now, it seems like. But no, it's really for about 4 years it has been a district focus, and we keep coming back to it, and sometimes I feel like we're spinning our wheels. And I feel like if we're that smaller group within 4th grade, then we're taking the lead on moving not just OES 4th grade students, but our district closer to meeting those goals. And then, of course, one of the things that would be assigned would be an administrator to us. They would document, and then our progress would be monitored through Educate Alabama or whatever teacher evaluation tool they decide to use next year. I know that's supposed to be changing, but that would be our progress monitoring for us as a group. When Deb does her presentation, Spradley may come in to my room and say, hey, I don't see any evidence of this going on. And I know this is something you guys were focusing on. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll go ahead. And then, of course, this would be our assessment plan. And it would be to improve learners' understanding cognitively, socially, emotionally, and develop those standards of readiness that are for our individual students. Okay. And then, of course, this would be the assessment piece. And this, again, it would come from Mr. Spradley or one of the other administrators. All right, Ms. Hirsch? And that's it. Do you guys have any questions? Concerns? Comments? Okay, thank you.